there's going to be a lot of Karens that aren't going to like me soon. Wow! So here is my Lexus LS400, which has the 1UZ V8 engine in it. The problem is, it currently sounds like a sewing machine. Yeah, I think we could do better than that. And I know I've literally just bought the car and there's definitely a few issues that we need to sort, but everyone knows that you always need to modify before you maintain. So we're going to get cracking and start removing the old exhaust system. Now this is a 28-year-old car which still has the original exhaust on it, so as you can imagine everything is most likely going to be seized. So to help our chances in getting these bolts out smoothly, we're going to spray them all with GT85, which is a bit like WD-40. And after soaking the bolts for 20 minutes, I then tried to crack them all off by starting with the lambda sensors, however you pronounce it. With them off, I tried to undo the bolt on the clamp connecting the rear and front sections of the exhaust together, but there wasn't much bolt left, so I had to just cut it off in the end. It's then on to remove the exhaust support bracket. And then finally the 6 bolts connecting the front section of the exhaust to the headers. We use lubricant spray, heat and long extensions for leverage, but over the 28 years of heat cycles they were bound to snap, and guess what? They all did. Right, so exhaust is now off. If you come underneath here, as you can imagine, being a 29-year-old car, it was pretty hard to get off, and everything was seized. All the clamps, the bolts, everything like that. And I'm pretty sure every single bolt snapped. So you'll see the 2 headers here, and yeah, obviously there's 6 bolts, and all 6 broke. And there's still one left in here which we need to get out. And Steve has kindly drilled and retapped all of them, so we just got one left to do there. But we've only actually removed half of the exhaust, and I'll explain why in a second. But we've still got 4 back boxes here. Right, so down here is the old section of the exhaust which we've just removed, which comes straight from the headers into 2 cats, into a wide pipe, and then a resonator or a muffler. Down here is the new section of the exhaust, which I actually bought from Steve. Steve, say hi. Because his LS400 is currently off the road, so yeah, I bought it from him, and it contains 2 sports cats, definitely sports cats, down into a wide pipe and then into a valve. So essentially, when this valve is open, it comes straight from the headers and is a complete straight pipe, and then obviously we've got to wire this up into the car in a minute. Then if we shut the valve, it then goes back into the original system, which is the 4 back boxes. So even with the valve shut, it will still be a little bit louder because there's sports cats. So yeah, it will just be nice and it'll make a hell of a difference. So I reckon we should get this installed. Now you'd think this is just a simple case of swapping over the different sections, however we have just noticed a problem, and I'm intrigued to see how many of you guys have spotted the problem too. So my Lexus LS400 is a pre-facelift as it's a 1995, and Steve's is a facelift because it's a 1998 version. Now they are basically the same car, they just look slightly different, and I believe they have slightly different engine rods. But other than that, it's the exact same engine, so being the same engine, you would just assume the exhaust would be the same. Wrong. The exhausts are similar but seem to have different flanges on the headers, which means we need to cut them off and swap them over and weld the flanges onto the opposite sections. So to do that, we're going to use the angle grinder and try our best to do the cleanest cut possible as close to the flange as I can to make it easier for welding. And the angle grinder wasn't able to get into some of the areas, so I finished it off with an electric handsaw. And now the first one is off, we can do the other 3. And whilst we're doing this, Steve is drilling and retapping the last bolt stuck in the header flange. So thanks Steve for doing that. .4% of people that watch my videos are not even subscribed, so if you're still watching this, it probably means you're enjoying it. So it might be worth you subscribing to stay updated with the builds and the videos. With the flanges off, we can then clean them up so they fit flush with the header flanges and weld nicely onto the exhaust. And everyone knows that preparation is key, and that of course means we need to clean the header flanges too. And with the flanges and the rear section of the exhaust left on the car, we need to clean up the ends of the new section going on.
And finally, with all the preparation done, I need to remove the heat shield.
Do you know what this tool reminds me of? Oh, that's you, Steve, right? Do you know what this reminds me of?
That.
No, the little penguin off Wallace and Gromit. You know, the evil penguin. It literally looks like that.
And what I'm doing now is bolting the flanges in place so Steve can put the new section up in place to be tack welded in the correct position before fully welding it.
Right, so the exhaust is now in place. We're now just about to tack weld it in place up there. So we've put the actual exhaust through the flanges with them all bolted in. And yeah, we're just gonna sort of tack weld it in place, take the exhaust off, and then weld it all properly before we put it back on. Honestly, I'm buzzing to actually hear this thing. It's gonna sound mad. Right, so while Steve's just finishing up the welding, I think it'd be rude if we didn't start the car without an exhaust, because it's YouTube tradition. I can't even speak. It's YouTube tradition. Holy sh**. That is so loud. I'll give it a little rev. Yeah, that is so loud. That's mad, isn't it?
And with thanks to Steve, that is now welded so we can add the gaskets and some exhaust paste just to make sure there's no blows, and then we can get it bolted in properly.
Right, so the exhaust has been fitted, so we now need to wire up the actual valve itself. Now, the valve is around about here. So I've started to rip up the carpet already. So I need to find the grommet that's right next to the valve, because we're gonna poke up the wires through that, so then we can find the nearest switched 12 volt line.
And with the wiring, I've tried to make it so if anything catches the underside of the car where the wire is, because obviously the car is really low, it will just pull it out with a plug rather than rip the actual wires itself. So hopefully that should be okay. With the underside done, it was time to wire it into a switched live so the valve motor is only on when the ignition is.
So the moment of truth, how does this thing actually sound? So I've got the key fob here, and at the minute, the valve is shut. So if I click on A, that'll open the valve. And like even at idle, that sounds way louder. And literally just click A to open the valve, and then B to shut it. Right, I reckon we should do a sound test now the exhaust is fitted. So this is with the valve shut. Yeah, and then if I click A and open the valve, this is with it open. That sounds absolutely mental. Right, so I'm here with Sienna, Steve's daughter. Say hello.
Hello.
And we're about to see the LS400 go past, and I think Steve's going to do it first with the valve shut, so basically just sports cat to the normal system and without that resonator, and then when he goes past again, it'll be the full straight through. So this could be interesting. I reckon it's going to be very loud. Yeah, that's really quiet with the exhaust, with the valve shut. You can barely even hear it. That is much better, isn't it? That is very loud. Whoa, the camera ain't gonna pick that up very well. Okay, so this is my genuine first reaction to the exhaust. The valve is currently shut. So if I click A, there's no way you could drive around that all the time. What? Yes, that is so sick. What, like, and then just click A, and then B. No idea what you're on about, officer. That was not me. Wow, that is crazy. That is so loud. Oh my God. That is absolutely mental. Absolutely mental. It does sound quite cool just cruising about, but I couldn't imagine this on a motorway. It would be ridiculous. and then just literally shut the valve. Even if I accelerate, you're never ever gonna know. That is unreal. Got another tunnel. Woo! There's gonna be a lot of Karens that aren't gonna like me soon. Wow. Alright, I'm just gonna cruise home now and just be, oh, I've just dropped the valve. Brilliant, that's now underneath the pedal. Brilliant, right, I've got that, right. I'm gonna drive home sensibly like a sensible adult now.
That's ridiculous. You can't even hear yourself think.
I know.
It's just like instant smiles.
No, it's ridiculous. Oh.
That's seriously loud. That's really loud.
So there we have it, the crazy new exhaust on my LS400. Please do let me know what you think of it. Like, it does sound absolutely mental in person, but I don't think it portrays across on camera very well, but it's loud, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. But if you did enjoy the video, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment, and also subscribe, and I shall catch you guys very, very soon in a brand new video.